Hey class, let's look at another exercise from your Chapter 3 homework. This is problem number 47 of 84, where we are given a data set of magnitudes of 120 earthquakes listed in a data table. You're supposed to find the range, variance, and standard deviation. And then, if you were to add another value to that data set, how does that impact those measures, like range, variance, and standard deviation? So we're going to compute the range, variance, and standard deviation without that extra value, and then later we're going to add that extra value to the data set and see how that changes things. And so that value that we're going to add is 7.00, but we'll do that later. Let's look at the original data set first. So we'll click on this icon here. All right, and we'll click on the double window icon, open in StatCrunch. And then we are going to go to Stat. We're going to go to Summary Stats, go to Columns, select the Variable 1 column, and Compute. All right, let's I'll close this. Let's unmaximize the homework window and pull up my StatCrunch as well. Okay, so our range, without the extra data value plugged in, the range is 3.55. Okay. Check answer. Great. The standard deviation is 0. And they want that rounded to 3 decimal places, so it'd be 0.655. Then they want the variance, which is 0.429. Next, they want with the extra data value the range is. Well, now we're going to need to go back here. Let's close this. We're going to have to go into the data set itself, and let's go to the bottom of that data set. So I'll use my vertical scroll bar here and go all the way down to the bottom. Now I'm going to type in a new number. They requested that you add the number 7.00. So let's go ahead and do that. Now let's go into Stat again. Go to Summary Stats, Columns, and Compute for Variable 1, which was the column where the data was located. And do it all over again. And we're going to get some different numbers now. With the extra data value, the range is now 5.86. Okay. The standard deviation is now 0.769. The variance is now 0.591. 0.591. So then the last part is asking, do the measures of variation change much with the extra data value added? Choose the correct answer below. Well, if we look at the two ranges, 3.55 and 5.86, here's what I can do. What I like to do is I like to divide the larger value by the smaller and see by what percent one is larger than the other. So here we have the larger range, which is 5.86, and the smaller range, which is 3.55. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, on my calculator, I'm going to take 5.86, which is the larger range, and I'm going to divide by the smaller range of 3.55. Now if you do that on your calculator, you get a decimal of roughly 1.65. Or in percent, that would be 165%. So 5.86 is 165% of the other guy, 3.55, which means he's 65% bigger. Which means that's a lot more than 5 percentage points apart. They are 65 percentage points apart. 5.86 is 165% of the smaller number, or in other words, 65% larger. So he is more than 5 percentage points apart. Now what about the variances? Let's compare those. One of the variances is 0.591, the larger one, and the smaller one is 0.429. If we were to do a comparison, let's divide the larger variance, 0.591, let's divide him by the smaller variance of 0.429. So if we take 0.591 and divide by 0.429 on our calculator, we get 1.3776, or roughly 138%. That means that the larger variance is 37 or 38% larger. So the variances are much more than 5 percentage points apart. They are nearly 38 percentage points apart. And then finally, if we look at the standard deviations, the larger one is 0.769. So I'm going to take him and I'm going to divide him by the smaller standard deviation, which is 0.655. So on my calculator, I'm dividing 0.769 by 0.655, and I get roughly 1.174, or about 117%, which means that the larger standard deviation is 17% larger, which is more than 5 percentage points apart. So that means that since all three of the larger values, when we added that extra data value, all three of these values are more than 5 percentage points larger. And so I would say that all three of these, all of them change significantly. All of them. Let's check our answer. Hey, we are correct. Thanks for watching.